Yo, what's up guys? We do get this event once again where you can do a reconfiguration. First reconfiguration is free, and then the next two will cost a certain amount of Hydro Crystals. We don't know how many those are. It really does depend on the number if I would recommend you guys to do just one or two or maybe all of them. Well, that is pretty much the three options you have over here. But this is kind of the point where people would say is like, okay, what would we consider doing the resets on? So I'll go through a bunch of options that people might have built, which I would say that's probably worth a reset in the first place. So first of all, well, this one is apparently failing more than I expected. Let's just continue on doing it, I guess. I'm not sure what is wrong with that team. That's exactly the same thing I was running before, and then it worked all the time. Suddenly, it's not working all the time. Either way, we'll figure that part out later. So what to reset, what not to reset. And there is definitely a bunch of options which I would say are pretty good. Wait, let me get that over here. Yep. This one over here. So I think a lot of people are thinking about resetting their Shadow Seiiya because Shadow Seiiya does not work in the Aurora stage. However, I just unlocked Inferno, and let me tell you this much. Inferno is incredibly difficult, and I wouldn't be surprised if people start complaining about it the moment they hit level 50, because it's really like if you thought that going from Nightmare to Hell was a pretty big jump, this is a way bigger jump. Let me show you that. On Inferno in Europe, the only clears are Shadow Seiyas, mostly with Lily as well. There's about one clear that I saw that is not with a Shadow Seiya. And of course you could say it's like, that's just Terramaton, I don't care less about Terramaton. But if we go, for example, to the shell drops, if we go to the Nikonana over here, and if we check out the clears over here, once again, everything is based on Shadow Seiya. Sometimes there's no Lily, but most of them do actually have a Lily in there as well. There's, I think, legit about one clear that did it without, so sure, it is possible, like we see a clear over here. And I think there was like one more clear that did it with the thing. So yeah, there's definitely some options for clears out there. But in general, it's pretty much all based on Shadow Seiya. Also, if you were to go to Shadow Flame Hoyan, I think the first clears will be Shadow Seiya. This one, Sharon, you cannot Shadow Seiya, so you have to go on a different team. Pretty interesting one over this, I checked it earlier. And if we get this one on a final stage, then I wouldn't be surprised if that's first cleared by Shadow Seiya as well. So therefore, for my take of like, should you be resetting your Shadow Seiya if you put Latisis in there? Probably not. Like, if I were to have her, I would first be upset, but then in the end, the moment you get to Inferno, you know, it's like, hey, this thing is actually really insane. Also, another thing, if you reset characters just to get EXP out or just get the 6-star material out, it's maybe less of an interesting one than actually pulling Latisis out. Like the perfect Latisis, those are the things you want to pull out if you were to reset anything. So there's probably some people that have built a Shiada because Shiada was really good in Doki Doki. That would, for me personally, be an angle of saying like, okay, maybe take out the perfect Latisis from her because she's no longer as good in the Inferno. But it is still also an event that is 7 days. So don't reset on the first day if you're not 100% sure. Only reset if you're 100% sure. It's like, yo, I'm not going to be using this unit anymore. A unit that is probably on people's radar to be reset is actually Marvel. And Marvel does make a lot of sense. You probably did notice it. Marvel really did bring you through like the early game. It brought you through like the normal stages, hard stages, nightmare stages. But then in the hell stages, you already kind of see that we're not using as much Marvel, if any. And that's where I would say, if you're still using Marvel in the AnySync Echo, because it's not just about the dungeons, it's also about the other content, such as the AnySync Echo, or Amber Track, or maybe even Ethernet Rally. If you use Marvel in those three contents, you might still want to keep your Marvel in there. And that is kind of the thing that you have to keep in mind. If you still use Marvel in there, keep Marvel. Otherwise, you might consider resetting him. But once again, only do reset him if you do really want to go for it. And also in chat, we're here with chat. Let me know what you guys think about resetting, and maybe I can give a response to that. So write that right now, and I'll check the responses later. Other units that people might be resetting, if you pulled a clause later than you put stuff in your gray, resetting gray is definitely an option. Clause in 9 out of 10 is going to be better than that. Also, some people were building on Victor and were actually kind of disappointed by Victor. It's definitely one of those units, I would say, is one of those things that you can probably just remove as well, because it's just not going to be that great for you in the most cases. That thing is just way better. That's just one of those things that I just simply say is way better. I think another unit that might be on the radar for people to be resetting is Sanya, because you now have Ling Low. I still would say Sanya, I did actually reset her myself as well. But I still would say that she might be really, really strong in late game PvP. So that's one of those things that you might consider still keeping in there if you're not 100% sure. So those are a bunch of options. Also Kraken. Kraken, I would say, is definitely one of those options for a reset as well. So those are pretty much the main options that I think people would consider maybe resetting. Another thing that I highly recommend you to actually reset for, and that is a thing that you maybe have been stuck on for a little bit. Wait, let's see where it was at. Was it the Animus Fates? No. We had one of those over here somewhere. This one maybe. Nope. Second one. Where was it? It is definitely a thing that a lot of people are a little bit stuck on for a little bit. But I kind of have to find where the hell that one is. Ah, this one. It is in the Commission Chronicles 2. You have to make 2 Animuses to level 50. That is a little bit of an investment to do, and that is a little bit annoying to do as well. For my recommendation is use this reset to clear this achievement, because as you see, all of the achievements that come after are a lot more easy than just making 2 units on a level 50, because in the end, starring a unit up, as I mentioned before, is a lot of value, but making something from level 1 to level 50 doesn't give you that much stats extra. Plus, every run you do, you're gonna get EXP regardless, so you're still getting EXP, but they're kind of forcing you to make anything level 50 at some point. But, for example, this one, since level 1 to level 46, I never put any EXP card in there. It's just being used in every dungeon. You're gonna get there at some point. So, but you're gonna have to use this to actually max out the unit to 50. What you can do is, if you are planning to reset 2 units, you reset 1 unit that you can pull a decent amount of EXP out. You throw that all on your highest level that you have at that moment. So that is 1 character on level 50. Then what you actually do is you pull out all of that on the level 50 character you have. And you use that on another character that you might also consider on making level 50. With that, you can actually make 2 level 50s with just 2 resets, where you're still actually using your reset for the target that you do want to use it on. Also keep in mind with this method and this tactic, do keep in mind to do it when you're really sure what you do want to use your resets on. Also, it's going to be definitely the question on how expensive are those resets, because through the event that we earlier had, the earlier event was like, first was free, second 200, third 400, was it? Yeah, and then I think 4th, 600, 5th, 800. Are they going to be a lot more expensive right now? Probably. I do kind of expect them to be more expensive, but you're gonna get 1 for free. So I would definitely say, if you didn't do this thing just yet, do at least try to make level 50s from those resets. But also keep in mind, you still have about a whole week to decide to actually see, it's like, okay, what do I want to do or not? Don't go on the first day right away. It's like resetting like 3 characters and then be like, wait, but that actually wasn't that smart. Because that is a thing with resets and also with buffs and nerfs. I've seen it in different games. If a unit is nerfed, and you get a free reset, I think about 90 to 95% of the people were actually pulling out all of the materials that they got for that 1 unit. But I also do notice that about 50 to 60, maybe even 70%, put back the resources in that unit afterward, because it was actually not that bad of a nerf. So those are things that you definitely have to keep in mind with buffs and nerfs. But then again, do it as you would like. I do see a few people saying for Kraken, maybe Sanya, yeah, definitely an option. Reset Grape, I think that's a great one over there as well. So yeah, definitely a lot of options which you could actually go for a reset. So that's my recommendation for me for now. You can also let me know in the comments if you're thinking about anything, or just ask me on the Twitch stream or the YouTube stream. So that's what's all for now. Thanks for watching. See you later.
Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.